Funny thing, war. Never before have so many suffered so much so few could be so happy. Major Frank Burns. You know what would make me happy? Light-hearted tactical combat, preferably as absurd as possible so we don't get into maudlin emergency room moments and Alan Alda having another breakdown. But since we haven't seen a new Advance Wars for years, the obvious answer is right out. Instead, we've got a cute little doujin game called War of the Human Tanks, in which adorable anime girls fight to the death and explode while you manage all the madness. But don't worry, they don't have human rights or anything. In fact, the game rather harps on this fact, which totally isn't creepy at all the nth time you hear it. No siree. Alright, so it's no more strange than Saishu Heiki Kanojo, and it isn't made to make you stare into the eternal bottomless pit of blackest despondency. Instead, it's cute, well-drawn, if completely static, girls who just happen to be human tanks, in real-time skirmishes against similar squads. Or should I say that's about 40% of the action. The rest is your standard visual novel textathon, just significantly less creepy than many visual novels tend to be. Seriously, one scene made me think for a moment that something untoward was going on, and then bam! Turns out our hero and his #1 tank were just in line for multiple copies of the big video game that just released, so they could get all the bonus items. Heh, otaku. Even in the far-flung future where pseudo-Japan is torn in half by an adorable civil war, there's room for slacking off and watching Sentai. Your new workaholic second lieutenant isn't nearly as laid back as you and your engineering whiz little sister, though, so she's here directed by an Evangelion-esque faceless ruling body to whip the division into shape and single-handedly repel the advancing royal forces. A tall order to be sure, but fortunately you've got an impressive level of control over your squad, including assembly of new human tanks, with no rights whatsoever, and they'd like to emphasize that a couple more times, equipment thereof, deployment array, and research and development of improved units. Unlike the Advance Wars series, though, these human tanks fight in real time. When a unit's turn comes up, you simply select it to move, attack, reconnoiter an area of the battlefield, or sit tight. Units generally fall into 5 categories: melee, ranged, recon, shock troops, read highly mobile self-destructing units, and command, aka the kings of this little chess game. For as low budget as the game seems, there's actually quite a bit to the strategy, especially once you start equipping and manufacturing modules to further customize your tanks. And for reasons I can't rightly identify, the soundtrack seems about a league and a half better than it has any business being. There's some serious guitar going on here. It even has its own opening theme sung by a woman about half an octave outside her ideal range, and closing credits music in Spanish for whatever reason. And because War of the Human Tanks wants to make you think it's an anime, that animation outside of the little Sega CD-esque cutscenes that play out during battles, you'll be seeing the opening and closing titles before and after each chapter of the game. Until you skip through them, because that's ridiculous. So I go to war with my legion of Moab blobs, head held high, hoping one day to bring peace to the land, or to have another Advance Wars to play.